So I'm 18, right? Working at Subway, I think, going to college and community college, and I'm trying to do everything I can to just like stay away from, you know, streets, stay away from anything that's got to do with, having me out, where I can be, taking penitentiary chances, right? And I don't remember why, but I just like got this like bug in my head. It was like, man, fuck this shit, bro. I gotta go somewhere, right? And I had a decent amount of money saved, right? So I was like looking up like plane tickets to different places, like one-way tickets, and I had saw a deal for a plane ticket one way to Maui, right? And I was like, well, shit, bro. I could fuck with living in Hawaii, right? So, I go online and I buy my ticket to Maui, right? And I had looked up like the different cities and towns that were there, and I found one that was called Lahaina, right? Which is like, supposed to be just like the best place on Maui, right? And I looked up like how to get there from the airport on a bus and, all this stuff I needed to know, right? And I went and I had bought a sleeping bag, and I had bought a like decent like backpackers like backpack, and got rid of most of my shit, and took all my money out the ATM and went to Hawaii, right? Went to Maui. And first thing I noticed when I touched down, right, is the way the airport there is set up is, you have like the terminal where the planes come up to, right? And in most places it's enclosed, it's a building, but here it's actually outdoors, right? So like you walk down this hallway like at a college when there's like a hallway, but then there's like a railing and it's like outdoors, and then there's classrooms like off to the side. It's kind of like that, right? And the first thing I noticed when I touched down, man, it was hot, bro. Like I left in February, right? So, I'm leaving like shitty winter, right? And I get there and it is like 98 degrees, 1,500 million% humidity. It's sunny. There's no clouds in the sky, but it is hot and it is humid, bro. And I start within 3 minutes, I am sweating my ass off, right? So I walk to the bus, right, and I get on the bus and I, take the trip from where you touch down in Kahului, and I go down to Lahaina, right? And I'm not gonna lie, man, when I got off that bus and I looked around, and there was the beach over here, and there's like the beautiful street full of tourists and full of beautiful women and families, and the fucking different shops and the different restaurants and stuff, bro. Like this was like, I was like, yo, this is it, bro. Like this is the most beautiful shit I've ever seen in my life, right? And so I just, I got there kind of early in the day, so I just started walking around, and I got to a point where, I started to like look for a place that I could sleep, right? Because my plan was to just like, like fuck it's, Hawaii. I'll just like fucking sleep on the beach for a few days, right? Before I find somewhere to stay. And at this point, I'm there and I got maybe, $300 in my pocket, right? So I find a place to sleep, and I had a couple job interviews that I managed to line up before I got there, right? And within the first few days, I get a job, right? And I start trying to build my life in Hawaii, right? Well, probably a week after I get there, right? Right at the beginning of March. Something I didn't know was that in Hawaii, during springtime, it'll rain. Just randomly, it'll dump 2 feet of rain, like, in an instant, right? And so I'm sleeping on the beach one night, and I'm sleeping, and I wake up in 6 inches of water, right? Where I was sleeping, there was like a log, and a little divot, and I was sleeping in the little divot with my sleeping bag and my pillow as a backpack, or my backpack as a pillow, right? I wake up in 6 inches of water, and I'm like, what in the actual fuck, bro? This is bullshit, right? So I, gather my shit up, and I fucking throw my sleeping bag over me, right? And I start walking. I just try to find somewhere dry, right? And there's like the beach bathroom with like the shower and shit. So I go under the awning there, right? And I'm tripping out, bro. I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do, bro? So I pull out my phone and I look up 24-hour laundromat Lahaina, right? And just by luck, there happened to be one like 1,000 feet up the street, right? So I walk up there, I throw all my shit in a dryer, right? And fucking kind of sit against the wall on this table, just trying to get some sleep, right? And so the next day I wake up, sunny, right? And I remember feeling like almost happy when it happened, right? Like as I was walking up to the laundromat, I'm like, honestly, bro, this is not the worst shit that I've ever dealt with in my life, and this is the first time that I'm having like a problem in my life that was something that I chose, that I was in control of, because I chose to come to Hawaii. I chose to not look up what the weather's gonna be like. I chose to sleep on the beach, right? And so it's kind of interesting how like when you have a problem in your life that comes up, but it's something that you are 100% responsible for, and there's nobody to blame but you, how it's almost like a comforting feeling, right? And I learned years later, I read somewhere that strong men will blame themselves, but weak men will look for a reason to blame others, right? And so without even knowing it, I was exercising like an internal like strength characteristic of choosing to acknowledge that it was my fault, rather than being like, oh, stupid fucking goddamn weather, like, screw you, God, why'd you have to rain, God, like, you know what I mean? So like, just that was like the beginning of my Hawaii journey, right? Like I'm there for a week and I get a monsoon. It's like, hey, welcome to Maui, right? So it was interesting, right? And I'll definitely have more Maui stories coming for you.